you, Karen. Hi, how are you guys doing tonight? I'm good, thanks for asking. My name is Veronica, I'll be taking care of you. Can I get you anything else to drink? Beer, wine, perhaps a cocktail? Yes, we do have a few changes on our draft list tonight. The Sculpin IPA is replaced by 3 Taverns Night on Ponds. All right, sounds good. Macy, ready? Thank you. All right, anything for you? All right, no problem. We'll be right back with those. And scene. In January, I decided I wanted to get away. I scraped together what I had and bought a plane ticket. And in February of this year, went to explore San Francisco for a week. It was amazing. I love everything about the city. Despite all the hills, everything you need, there's 3 of them in walking distance. And if not, the public transportation goes everywhere. The scenery, the atmosphere, it was all breathtaking. But the people, oh my God, the people. Let me start by saying Atlanta's homeless people have nothing on San Francisco. I saw things that I know I will never see here. And most of them are too disgusting to go into detail about. All of the people, including the homeless and the hippies, all of them were so vibrant and there were so many. It was exactly what I needed. It opened my eyes to how many people are in this giant world. And just because I have been and known some bad people doesn't mean they're the only ones in this world. It made me feel so small and insignificant and so happy about it. It gave me hope for humanity. People can be the best part and the worst part of this world. And there are so many different types. I learned that in California. When I returned, I got promoted from hostess to server at the restaurant I work at in Decatur. And the journey continued. I can't just say I love my job. It's too simple. I love the people, the ones I work with and the ones I communicate with. I love helping people. I love being a busybody and knowing I'm doing something productive, walking people through their meal, suggesting food and drinks that they will enjoy, making sure they have an enjoyable experience. Just like working toward a good grade, I love receiving good tips from customers. It sounds shallow because money isn't everything, but I'm 18. I'm 18 and I'm making enough money to support myself if I had to. That is such a good feeling. And the number on the receipt, I see it as an evaluation of how my service was. Granted, there are some people who are just bad tippers. But the ones who go above and beyond at showing their appreciation are what make it worth it. They even out the bad with good. Most of you here know me. I am Veronica Fleming, Linda's daughter, Lana and Simon's older sister. I have been here my whole life. I started counterpaint at age 3. I have done it all. Primary, lower school, upper school. I made it. And here I am graduating. Finally graduating, and I am so nervous and scared and excited and speechless, but I can't be speechless right now. So, my life started with a scream. A single bloody scream. I was not simply born. I came into this life bursting with anger and passion and cries of terror. Living is an awfully big adventure, and I think I knew that from the beginning. Cystic fibrosis is a genetic terminal disease that affects most of the organs in one's body, mainly the lungs. I have been living with cystic fibrosis for 18 years. Diagnosed at age 3, my lungs have always been a handicap for me. At the moment, my lung function is currently 47%. 47 out of 100%, which is terrible. The amount of self-care that it requires is phenomenally extensive. Through all the pills, treatments, hospital stays, doctor's visits, surgeries, and pain, the most important thing that I have found is that I need to keep fighting. There is no cure. There is no magic pill. Cystic fibrosis will kill me sooner than I would like. My one job is to prolong the ending. And yes, there are days when I give up, when I know that this life is too hard and I should not have to live like this. People notice, and it makes it so much more painful. When someone notices that I take 4 breaths for every one of theirs. or when I get dirty looks because my cough sounds like a smoker's cough, and no, lady, I do not smoke. But there are tons of people in my life who do. And there are days I am fine with it. Everyone has a vice. Something to help relax, get them through the day, I get it. But there are days I want to beat some sense into them, because you don't realize how lucky you are. You are born with a perfect, healthy, working pair of lungs, and you choose to abuse and kill them. It's not fair. I was dealt a terrible hand, and there is nothing I can do but wait it out. And on those days when I want to completely give up, I don't. I can't. I'm not doing it for myself on those days, because if I was, I would not be doing anything. I do it for all the people who were ever there for me, for all the people who tell me they need me, who tell me I help, for my family. For the slightest possibility of a tomorrow, I am forced to be strong and mature and responsible, and looking back at it, see, I've still my childhood. I never had the chance to be careless. It was always the first thing I had to think about when deciding anything and everything. Yes, cystic fibrosis is probably the worst thing in my life, and will always be. But I've come to terms with that, and it has taught me so much, like how to appreciate the small things and not put up with things that make you unhappy. Cut it all out of your life if you do not like it. Make this your life. Make this my life. Make it a life I'm proud of, so I intend to do that. To live it so completely and fully, and sometimes that will mean getting torn and hurt. But I want to feel emotion in every pore of my body, and be filled with experiences and memories so that when I die, I will not be forgotten. I want people to know how hard I tried, how passionate I was, that I didn't give up without a fight, and that I enjoyed every second I could until I couldn't. Having a terminal disease has pushed me to find and explore things I love. And I have found that when I find something I love, that I am an extremely passionate person. When I was 5, I started taking dance classes. What started out as a forced activity soon became something I fell in love with. Ballet was my thing. I did ballet for 12 years and loved every moment of it. And then at 17, I fell out of love with dance. I don't think anything prompted it, it just didn't make me happy anymore, so I stopped. Similar to dance, I found I had a passion for photography. Starting in 7th grade, I started making my own cameras and taking pictures. I fell in love with how you could capture anything with just the right amount of time. Learning about the developing and printing processes was so much fun. I am so glad and lucky that I had the resources to pursue this passion that I had found. From pinhole to film to digital, I have loved every step of the learning process, and now love creating images from my head and taking beautiful pictures. Photography helps me see things in a different light. Photography helps me find beauty in everything, especially the small things. And I think that finding beauty in this world has definitely helped me find happiness. Dance, photography, what else? Spoken word poetry is a phenomenal form of expression. I attended my first poetry slam at age 15, and I was hooked. So I tried some myself. I wrote a few poems before I found one I loved. A few weeks later, perfected and polished and memorized it, and got up my nerves enough to go perform it at a local open mic. Everyone in the audience was at least a decade older than me. And here I am, this timid little 15-year-old, trying to express and maybe impress and trying anything to get a positive reaction. Getting up on that stage was terrifying times 10. Stages I've done before. But in front of these incredible people who pour their heart into words and make everyone feel something along with them, I remember being in a bubble. And when I started talking, heard my own voice bounce off the walls and reverberate back at me, all the thrill and excitement and terror and pain and passion and love hit me. I knew exactly what to do with it. I threw myself into the words knowing they were perfect. My words and emotions were thrown back at me in forms of cheers, gasps, and snapping. They were there when I stumbled and choked on my words and kept me going. Spoken word poetry was the ultimate therapy. They accepted me for the scared little girl I was, and appreciated and applauded that I was trying to express myself to them. The next time I went, this time to listen, a woman got up on stage and performed. She said that I had inspired her. She spoke about her own unhealthy relationship past and how she had related to me. a 32-year-old woman. This woman was 17 years older than me, and not only had she heard, appreciated, and loved my piece, but I had inspired her to write. What? I have never felt as much pure, unimaginable happiness and accomplishment as I did in that moment. In equal ways, dance, photography, and spoken word have all gotten me through high school, and in turn, life. They have all been outlets for me to use and express my creativity, ways for me to relax and to not stress about everything. I'm still learning to love myself, and some days are easier than others. But when I think about all the chances I've had and the people I've met and the experiences I've been able to experience, it makes me so excited for the future. I'm only 18 and I've already had a lifetime full of experiences. So, what is my next step? By the end of this speech, I will have finished high school. That moment cannot come fast enough. So, what's next? College. Yes, I am going to college, and I cannot be more excited about that. This year, I only applied to one school. With everything I have going on in my life, I did not want to exert more energy than I had to applying to schools that I would only choose one of. So I applied early decision to Georgia State. Heard back about a week before my birthday that I got accepted and was so very excited. Starting in August, I will be attending Georgia State University. Major undecided as of yet. I will be living on campus and I cannot stress how ready I am for this next step. College is going to be new and exciting and fun. I will make it something to remember. So that's my next step. And getting to this point has been a bumpy ride to say the least. I have had constant ups and downs, and I know I would not have been able to make it here on my own. Counterpain has helped me explore my passions and create a workload and a workplace that works for me. Thank you to the teachers and the people here for not doubting me and knowing when to push me. I would like to thank Karen for being a teacher that I could open up to. For creating trust issues with me, but overcoming them and still being an ear for me to vent to. Thank you for helping me through applications, essays, and everything in between. For being an adult outside my family that I could trust. Simon. I would like to thank you for battling this horrible disease alongside me. Doing this alone with no one to complain to and with would have been so much harder. Thank you for making it bearable at times. For being the annoying brat when I needed one, and being my chiropractor when no one else could pop my back properly. From despising each other to playing together, you were always the first one to judge me, which is both a blessing and a curse. Thank you for being weird with me. Dad, I would like to thank you for being so supportive of everything I choose to do in my life. From things I might have an interest in to things I'm very passionate about. You support me 100%. Thank you for being so strong through all the stupid stuff life throws at you. I have seen you struggle, but you are always overcome it. And for that, I'm so proud to call you my dad. Mom. I have to thank you the most. I don't know where you are, but you have seen me in all my forms and have accepted every single one of them. Not many people have been able to do that. To say that I'm rebellious is an extreme understatement. Hey, yeah. I applaud you because I know how difficult I can be, as a person and as a daughter. Thank you for doing the best you can as a mother of 2 children with a terminal disease. Knowing that your children will not outlive you, and having to deal with that on a daily basis. You are so strong. You have been strong for me when I couldn't be. Thank you for that and everything you have done for me. Thank you for the freedom and trust I have received from you, even though it took a little while, that have let me become my own person. I love you, Mom. I'm sorry I don't say it enough. I love you. right along to advice. Simon, I know as well as you, and maybe more so, how terrible CF can be. Keep doing treatments. Keep taking pills. I don't care if you don't want to, do it anyway. If not for you, then for me. You will feel a difference later, I promise. I admit I have slacked on treatments and medications. And I have no one but myself to blame. And I can honestly say that because of that, I have shortened my life. It's heavy and morbid, but I can feel it. Do better than I did. Today, do what you love. Do what you want. Take risks and celebrate this life. Life was meant to be exciting and scary and not as stressful as I know it can seem sometimes. Hard work pays off in the end, but if you have no fun, you'll regret it later. I love you, and I'm so proud of all you've overcome and accomplished and will accomplish in life. You have so much potential. I believe in you. Because of my experiences, I look at the world through a different lens. I appreciate whenever I make my friends smile. Whenever somebody laughs, I look for the small victories. I am all about quality of life and enjoying and being happy. And for someone who talks about being happy a lot, I'm pretty unhappy, but I'm working on it. It takes time and patience to get to happy, but I have tasted it, and it is so, so worth it. On my 18th birthday, I got happiness tattooed on my forearm. Serotonin is a chemical reaction that happens in your brain to create the feeling of happiness. So why did I get it permanently inked on my body? To remind myself that depression is a chemical imbalance, which can change with the promotion of serotonin-stimulating activities. I am not faulty. Happiness is achievable. I just have to work a little harder to get it. And having it there, every time I see it, it reminds me that it's possible, that that is all I need. That despite feeling everything else in this world so harshly, depression, anxiety, stress, uselessness, pain, heartache, hurt, I can still feel happiness. And I will continue to strive for that little last ounce of serotonin that I need until I achieve it over and over again. My life started with a scream. I came into this life bursting with anger and passion and cries of terror, and I do not intend to leave this life silently. I will go out with a holler, probably of a very loud string of obnoxious profanity, and a surge of emotion and a smile. I do not intend on leaving this life miserable or quiet and I will not leave here miserable or quiet, because I am me, and I have made it this far, and I am alive and so, so happy to be. Thank you.